I am Bob Copperstone, a former newspaper journalist, and I like to write stories that mostly deal with my childhood in the mid-20th century. During my 80-plus years, I have accumulated troves of facts and memories as I experienced them here in Wahoo and surrounding Saunders County. These vignettes are presented as true and factual to the best of my recollection, and I wish to pass them on before they blink, flicker, and go dark forever. This is Growing Up Wigwam, as told by Uncle Bob. Fremont was Teen Bobby's favorite of the big cities, by Bob Copperstone. The placement of the city of Wahoo on Nebraska road maps quite handily positions Wahoo almost equidistant from each of three of the largest cities in the state. Omaha approximately 45 miles away, Lincoln 40, and Fremont 35. Wahoo had its share of good doctors, optometrists, dentists, general practitioners, and such. But for more specialized cases, we relied on a creaky-old bus system to take us into one of the big three cities. I have loved big little Fremont since I was growing up in Wahoo in the 1950s. During those days, we could catch the Arrow stages or Capital stages bus lines. I forget which one ran to Fremont, and ride in the swaying, pitching belly of a smoking, road-weary, yet dependable buses to Omaha, Lincoln, or Fremont. Fremont was not too big, and I felt more comfortable there than in Omaha and Lincoln. Looking back on my years at Wahoo High School, I remember I strived to remain in fashion clothing as far as my meager funds would allow. To my delight, and for reasons that continue to escape me, I had been selected in 1957, my senior year, to be Principal Mo Christensen's office aide for a couple of periods each day, and I wanted to be well dressed for the part. I don't know why the principal so honored me. No other woodshop classmate had been asked. To my lasting shame, I snickered with the other students in referring to the balding gentleman behind his back as skinhead. I knew that he deserved better than that. I dressed spiffily on school days, following the latest trends. I even owned a pair of blue suede shoes, along with those gaudy diamond-patterned Argyle socks, of course. One time I grew out my hair as best I could and wanted the Central Barber Shop's Ray Gillette to cut me a ducktail. Not enough hair there, though, and I resorted to my usual crew cut. I made the best of the flat top by keeping the coxcomb frontal ridge of hair standing at attention. I applied frequent slatherings from a pocket-sized jar of greasy substance brand named Butch Wax. To get back to my memories of Fremont. Fremont was often the destination of our annual day-long state high school music competitions. Win or lose, we always had fun in Fremont. Sometimes, if we couldn't find a certain contest venue among multiple sites just north of downtown, we weren't afraid to ask anyone on the street to give us directions. Some of us kids took the opportunity to run mildly amok. I didn't witness it, but one year I heard that a bunch of Husky football players ganged up to prank their music teacher's tiny subcompact Henry J. brand automobile. The car from Kaiser Fraser Corporation had recently come into the U.S. markets and was about the size of a Crosley. The kids hoisted the teacher's car and parked it sideways and immobile in the tight slot between two brick buildings. The teacher, grinning helplessly, showed up to drive home and reacted as the kids had hoped. Then the brawny boys extracted the Henry J, and everyone, except the teacher, got their chuckles. The Fremont Music Contest offered the perfect opportunity to strut my fashion stuff, and I was ready for it. But to my chagrin, it turned out that it also allowed me to make a perfect ass of myself with my choice of costume. During the late 1950s, the fashionistas gracing the nation's campuses were wearing the odd color combination of charcoal black and pink clothing. I had to get me some of that. I don't remember where I purchased the charcoal trousers, pink sports coat, pink shirt, and pink and charcoal necktie. This garish symphony of poor taste was topped with a ridiculously wide-brimmed charcoal black hat with pink wide ribbon. It certainly didn't come from Holteen Anderson's or Lindley Clothing or Penny's or any of the other Wahoo haberdashers. Meanwhile, as the hour of my contest solo neared, I began to get the shakes. I knew that my choices of clothing may put me at risk. Still, I had nothing to change into that day. I was scheduled for a morning practice session, so I set out on the long walk to the auditorium. I was feeling downcast and very pessimistic. I just wanted to get the misery over with. I stepped outside heavily, with all the confidence and aplomb of a kid caught stealing cookies. I looked as ridiculous as I felt. The dread was cemented when two girls my age passed me on the sidewalk. They eyed my outfit top to bottom, then looked me squarely in the eye and actually giggled out loud. Ouch, that stung. The rest of the day, while my performance time grew near, I stewed over why those girls wanted to hurt me like that. Why they didn't even know me. Painfully slowly, I began to realize that it wasn't me as a person that they were giggling at. They were instead ridiculing the very thing that was nettling my own self. It was those damnable charcoal and pinks which I was unwillingly forced into public display. By golly, it was time for me to climb out of my self-defeating funk. I knew right then what I must do, and I did it. I practically ran to the auditorium. I found the men's room and ripped off the gaudy coat, tie, and hat and threw them in a corner. My confidence thus restored, I'm proud to say I sang beautifully that night, scoring the highest superior ranking. And that atrocious charcoal and pink clown outfit, it never again left my bedroom closet. To be continued.
Growing Up a Wigwam is written by Bob Copperstone and produced by Chris Beatty. Everything is recorded in lovely Wahoo, Nebraska. If you've enjoyed this and want some more stories about Uncle Bob and other things, please subscribe at chrisbeatty.com.